All right, so welcome to the team call for the week. We have the legit incredible Angie Bellemare. She is a top 10 coach from last year, and she's also in Platinum Presenters, which we are all on. So some of you guys might not know, but there's someone named Christine Dwyer, and we're kind of like her great grandkids. So that's where I first saw you, Angie, was 2 years ago at the Platinum Edge when you presented on stage. And I've been following you for a while because obviously, the colors, you can see my hair, but I've just loved your vibe that you put out on social media. So when you reached out to me after my wake-up call, I was like, what? Of course, let's do a swapperoo. Because I love and then you said that you wanted to share about branding, and I love your brand, and I feel like it's very solid, and so I'm super excited for our teams to learn from you as well. I let you know that it's going to be, so it's the Follow Your Bliss family, which is my team. Then we have Team Machine, which is Tanya's team. Lori's team is Fitabulous, and then Team Fitabulous, and then Team Living Fit is Leticia. So we'll have several teams on here, and I'm sure there'll be more people popping on. But I will let you do your little intro because I just want everyone to hear from you as long as possible. So go ahead.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And we even talk the same. I use words that end in like E, and anyways, I speak in Disney terms. It's very weird, but we do have the same hair, kind of. You can't really see mine. I'm kind of in the dark. I'm excited to talk about everything today. This is really like my wheelhouse of what I love to speak about. You guys get your Energize ready, or your wine, or your water. I literally have all of the above in front of me, so no judgment. Whatever you guys want to do. Just make sure that you're taking notes, and you guys kind of get a sneak peek into what I'm sharing at Super Saturday, which is kind of cool. I'm going to go over this and more at Super Saturday, and this was actually another Super Saturday part of my presentation, so it's good stuff. I brought it for you guys. So I'm going to share my screen right now. And just to give you guys a little bit of context, I've been a coach for coming on 4 years, which is really weird because it doesn't feel like 4 years. And I'm 12-star. Like, there's nothing really special about me, and I want you guys to know that. One of the main things that I love to start my story with that nobody knows is I did not have Facebook when I started as a coach, and I had I think I had about 200 Instagram followers. So don't ever think for a second that like I came into the business with all of this. These are all tools that I use to grow my business, and I really feel like this was what drew me to Beachbody. Like the fact that I could build a huge brand on social media, build my business, and not ever have to present in people's living rooms, cold call people, make myself feel icky or anybody else feel icky. And I love it. And what we do is so shareable if you are authentically yourself. And that's what I hope to share with you guys. So this is going to be your 2017 game plan, because I'm all about like motivation, inspiration, all that great stuff, but I would rather just give you the goods. I was one of those types of coaches where I was like, that's cool. Like, you don't need to rah me. Just tell me, like, step 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's more of what I'm all about. So if you guys are cool with that, I'm cool with that. And by the way, if you guys have, I don't know why I can't see it. Usually it's when you're hosting, you can see it. But if you guys have a chat group, chat box thing in this, feel free to ask questions and I will there. Okay, yeah, I can see it. If you guys have, do you dye your hair? Yes, I do. Good, great question. And no, it's not shampoo. It's straight color. So my tub turns pink. Now, okay, jumping into the important stuff, like a goldfish. This is what I'm going to hope to share with you guys today and go over. Obviously, building your brand, that's something that Ashley was saying that you guys wanted to go over, and obviously social media. But more so than that, like the recipe of how to construct a perfect profile, not just on Instagram, but anywhere. Know where you should be sharing, know where to find your people, know how to speak to future challengers and how to invite future challengers, and know how to invite future coaches as well as speak to them to attract them. So I'm going to share with you guys like the goods, like exactly how I invite, what I call a soft invite versus a hard invite and all of that type of stuff. And I have screenshots of like exactly how I share this. So let's jump in. Now, the first thing in terms of branding, it does take a little bit of thought put into it. Like, you have to do some soul searching. And this could honestly be really fun. Like, it could be something that you do this weekend, that you just grab a pen and paper, or maybe you could do it right now while I'm talking, because that's how I am. My wheels start turning during calls, and I'm just like, I'm gonna do it right now. So as I ask you these questions in the slide after this, and in this one, start to get those wheels turning as to who you really are. Like, what do you love to do? And when you share the things that you love, that's when you're in that zone of it doesn't really feel like work, because you're talking to people that you truly understand and they understand you. There's no judgment. You literally are attracting a tribe of people just like you. So start thinking of like the hobbies that you thoroughly enjoy outside of Beachbody. Like if that's gardening, if that's traveling, if that's surfing, whatever that looks like, your passions and your interests, the things that motivate you, what your daily life looks like. People love the behind the scenes. Like I never thought in my life that anybody would care to see the fact that I have no kids. It's just me and my husband. If anybody was with us during the day, they'd be like, you're so boring. But it's us during the day and our little dog, Carl, who is a handful. But that's our life. And when I started sharing it, I was like, whoa, okay. Apparently other people think it's interesting and funny because I don't, but sure. People just, they want to be in your house with you. And I do believe in a sense of security and like privacy, but you know, you got in this to be successful. And I truly believe in putting yourself out there to show how you really do live your life and the good parts of that, you know, and the struggles and how you overcome it and what you do in your day to day to get through it, and all the hacks and all the, you know, the things that you do, like going live on Facebook. That to me, I'm going to talk about that. That's like the greatest thing in the world, because people can see how you truly react, how you react when the mailman comes to the door and your dog goes crazy, what your reaction looks like to that. The other thing that I share a lot of is my skills. And, you know, I hid this forever, but I have mad skills when it comes to where to eat and drink in Disney World. Something I hid for a long time, and it might sound weird to some people, but you know what? There is a slew of people out there that actually would benefit from challenge packs. So I have like a great niche market right there. But, and I'm kidding, of course, but it really is so me to my T. Like I could talk about it forever. And that's something that I share. And I share my family, and I share any knowledge that I have that I've grown over the years in terms of how I meal prep my food and all that type of stuff. So really think about like what makes you to your core, and don't hold back from it. So brainstorming, and you can, like I said, you can do this weekend, you can do this while I'm talking now, but start thinking of this and asking yourself some questions. What struggles have you overcome? And for me, one big struggle that I overcame was that I was a little skinny mini thing that was seemingly healthy that ended up in the hospital like 3+ times in a row until I found Beachbody. That's a struggle that I had to overcome. And to me, the bigger struggle in all of that was being okay sharing it, because I actually gained weight on my Beachbody journey. And when I started sharing that, that's when I found a planet of people like me. I think about things that inspired me today. I love listening to personal development. I constantly have personal development all over my computer, on my phone. I listen to Gary Vaynerchuk every single day almost. That is the type of stuff that creates the majority of my captions. That's what inspires me to post. That's where I get the vibe of my social media, you know, like that harshness a little bit and that tough love. How did the old me think? The old me thought that having popcorn as a food group was okay. And I talked to that girl. I talked to that girl that wants to know which container does the popcorn go in. Like that's a big question. And I think about that. What motivated me to make a change? I think about that stuff, because what you're doing is you're basically molding your audience to be exactly you before Beachbody, so that you are speaking to one person all the time. And I think that all of us as coaches, we almost get greedy, especially in the beginning when we haven't really found our way, and we try and talk to everybody and anybody and try to appeal to everybody and anybody. And in doing that, you'll appeal to no one, because you're just going to be spread so thin, and you'll be all Beachbody and all fitness and health and no real depth. But when you are so specific about who you are and your story, and you're willing to peel back that onion and share that, that's when the magic happens and you really attract your people. So I'm really, really raw and honest more and more on social media about what motivated me, what I'm excited about in the future. You know, if you guys are going to be at the Success Club trip, or if you're planning on being on next year's Success Club trip, post about that stuff. Like, to me, that's very on brand with what I post about. But someone like Melanie Mitro, I just spoke with her today. I did a team call for her. I took on a lot today. I did a team call, and I'm doing the wake up call on Monday. And I'm speaking at Superstar. It's a lot, okay? It was like a really big week. But I really want to talk to you guys. But what she talked about with me was that her life looks nothing like mine. Like, she is not traveling nearly as much as I am. She could if she wanted to. It's It's not part of her path. It's not what she wants to do, but it is 100% part of my brand. And we are both successful in doing that. And I often think about that, like someone that I will attract will not be attracted to Melanie, and vice versa. Someone that is attracted to Melanie will think that I am crazy. And I think that that's super, super important to be okay with that. Thinking about what your biggest excuse was and what your plan is to conquer it. And sometimes your biggest excuse could just be that you didn't want to work out that day and what you did to conquer it. And how have you grown since yesterday? You know, if you are doing personal development, what did you do to grow? Oh, someone's mute. That's all it was. Can you guys hear me okay? Cool. I think Brenda is muted, but I don't think I can do anything on my end. Okay. I love this slide. It makes me happy. So this is my coach, Emily, on the left, and my profile's on the right. And it has actually grown since I've created this slide, which tells you one thing. Everything that I'm sharing works. So Emily and I have very similar businesses. Emily is my top coach. She's one of my elite coaches. We had 6 elite coaches on our team this year, including myself, which was crazy. And that is why I do what I do. Like, for my coaches to see tremendous success like that makes me so happy. And Emily right now is sitting in the top 10, which makes me so happy. And she grew her social media last year by, and when I say social media, I mean Instagram. She grew her Instagram by 20,000 followers last year, in a year. So I'm going to share with you exactly what she told me, because I asked her when I was planning this call, like, tell me what you did. And she said, on the days that I posted like 2 to 3 times, it was good. And I gained some followers and I gained some traction, and my pictures got anywhere from 100 to 200 likes. On the days that I posted 5 to 6 times of good value, great value posts, that was money. Like, that was straight up like big amounts of followers, like over 1,000 followers, and some pictures would hit almost 1,000 likes. That's crazy. And I feel like she just like gave it to me. Like, she just said it. But if you look at her page, and if you guys go see her page later, she's so consistent. She has a theme to her page. She's very on brand. She shares the things that she talks about in her profile. And I do the same thing. So what Emily and I have in common is we have these 5 things that we've kind of narrowed it down to that make us us, to our core. And for me, it's what I talk to you about, like the skinny to strong journey, that I travel an inordinate amount of times a year, that I have Carl, who is crazy, that I love Disney, and that I will eat a donut and martinis, but I'm still fit. And that way, when people come to my page, they aren't like, what? And also, I just want to say there is no mention of Beachbody on here. Not because I don't love Beachbody. Beachbody changed my life. That I am in this house because of Beachbody. Insert income disclaimer here. But that is truly like to my core and my essence. But Beachbody is not who I am. Who I am is those 5 things. Beachbody is my career. It's my vessel to help people. And to be honest, when you put Beachbody in your profile, you are literally putting your sales and your Success Club points before anybody that's coming to your page and saying, just PS, if you want to buy, like, you can follow me, but if you want to buy something from me, here's my link. Just in case. I have news for you. Nobody's going to click that link. Even if you have your website, like Emily and I don't have my link on mine right now. I might as of today, I'm not sure. But you can see in the insights when you, by the way, you can see it on the screenshot right where it says Angie Bellemare at the top, right next to that thing that looks like a wheel. There's like 4 little lines. That's your insights. When you have a business profile page, you have insights. I can see how many people click on the link when I have a website. It's like 3 a day. Don't get too excited about the link. So what I do and what Emily does, I think mine right now is my YouTube link, and she does the same thing because I'm starting to grow my YouTube because I'm loving the idea of video. And that's also what's going on to my Instagram. It's just all video all the time. So you can see how our pages are kind of similar, but we are very much ourselves to our core. So that really is, in short, the construction of a profile and what it should look like, because people are going to make a decision in way less than 10 seconds, like 2.5 seconds if they're going to follow you. And they're going to base that off of what it says in your profile caption part, the writing part, and your last 30 pictures. So I would challenge you today, like, self-assess. What does your profile look like? And you can do this with Facebook, you can do this with anything, but look at your last 30 posts. Would you follow you? And that's something that I'm constantly asking myself. And I'm constantly reassessing what my news feed looks like and what my profile looks like on Instagram. And I'll straight up delete pictures if it doesn't fit with my brand, because that's what creates the cohesion of the whole thing. So that's Emily's at sign if you guys want to go check out her page. So I know that I talk a lot about Instagram, and Instagram really is where I got my start. But when you started with YouTube, do you make a separate? When I started with YouTube, did I make separate videos for that? Like separate videos. So my YouTube channel is, you guys can go see it. It's youtube.com/Angie Bellemare. And it is just my life. It is like long, it's like anywhere from 11 to 17 minutes of Instagram posts, but in real life. It's like I've come to life through my Instagram posts. I do vlogs. Like I'll document my life. Like my most recent one is me doing Asylum. I give a little bit of a gym tour. It's just a welcome into my home. And I think it's awesome. Like that to me is really where it's at. And I'm going to talk about video in a little bit because I really believe that that's where the future is. Like I think that Instagram is phenomenal. It's a great tool to use, but I really think that if you can utilize video on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, then that's king. So that's what I kind of wanted to jump into here is that although you might see a coach like Melanie Mitro be on Blogger, and then you might see a Bonnie Engel that kills it at Facebook, and you might see an Angie Bellemare that kills it at Instagram. It doesn't mean that you need to try and follow that person to where they are. You've got to be able to match your skill set. And that's where you're going to be the most consistent. You need to figure out the playground that you want to play on, basically. And that's how I kind of choose my platform that I want to post on. It's the spot where I know realistically that I'm going to be consistent. I'm not going to be consistent with Blogger. Fun fact. I was top 10 last year and currently staying at top 10. And I ended the month, okay, nowhere near Ashley, but still pretty good. I had like 112 successful points. I do not have a website. It is empty right now. It's like blank. There's nothing there. So, and I don't have a blog either. There's like nothing there. So that to me is very telling as to the fact that one, at least I'm honest with myself and I'm not consistent with it, but also that I don't need to have everything set up and it doesn't have to be perfect for me to start, to just go. I'll set it up eventually. You know, I've only been doing this for 4 years. Maybe by like year 6, I'll have it figured out. And that, you know, I could try and follow the shiny objects and do what Melanie's doing and try and do that. But I know to my core that that's not me. I don't sit down and write blog posts. YouTube is something that I love. I love doing video. I love sharing my life. I love people seeing the real side of who I am. Snapchat I also love. It's 10-second snippets of my life and the real authentic me. Facebook I'm just trying to get good at. And that's more about sharing. It is the behind the scenes of your life, but in smaller, a little bit more highlight reel-esque. And Instagram, and this has been my struggle with Instagram, is that it really is the highlight reel. Like really, and so much, and Ashley talked about this in the wake-up call, like that is a struggle for me. And to constantly put like the best, most beautiful picture out there is the hardest part because that's not real life. And I love like the real life. I love when I swear by accident on Facebook Live. Like that stuff makes me happy because people see who I really am. And, you know, that's why I think that you have to constantly be reinventing yourself too. And Twitter, I don't even touch Twitter because as you can see, I talk a lot and me within 140 characters is not going to work. So I think that when you're thinking about social media, you're thinking about your brand, you have to really figure out 1 or 2 platforms that you can play on that you know that you'll stay consistent with based off of your strengths and your interests. And for me right now, I would say that that would be a mix between Facebook and Instagram and YouTube for sure. And Snapchat's just an extra. So one thing that I see a lot of coaches do is they'll talk about, well, I have to post 3 times today, or I have to post my 4 posts, whatever that looks like, my 6 posts on social media. And they will just put stuff up just to put stuff out there. And it's not even good. It's just, you know, a picture of lunch saying, this is what I ate today, or a sweaty selfie being like, hi, or this is my cat. Like, you know, like it's just statements. There isn't really any depth to it. And what I always share with people, the most value that you could probably add is to document what you're doing. Like that, the last video that I posted on YouTube, that took me no extra time. Same with the video before that, where I did a plan with me. Because I had so many coaches and followers asking me, how do you plan? Like how do you plan with your planner? How do you plan your calendar? Like you guys can see that whiteboard back there. It's not really a whiteboard. It's kind of like a clear, anyways, I shared that. And I was going to do it anyways. It was a Monday and I was planning my week and I just recorded it and people loved it. It had over 1,000 views in like a day. I wasn't even, but I didn't create any new content. I was just documenting me. And same thing with my blog. And I'm trying to find the same way to do that with Instagram. You can see in my most recent post that that's what I did. I just took a snippet of my workout and I shared that. And I think that that's where you'll really win, because it's not taking you any extra time. You're not creating some fictional situation for people. It's not exhausting on your end to just have to put stuff out there. You're just documenting your life and you're having fun while you do it. So this is how I always get this question. How do you find people? And that it's kind of like a loaded question, because I almost feel like it sounds like trickery, and it's not. It really is just about you putting out a certain vibe that attracts your type of people, like your future tribe. And I think that it's so cool that we're in a business that we can plan a team retreat, which was a huge goal of mine, to plan a team retreat and have a bunch of people there that I legitimately loved, that we were like best friends forever, and that they were from all over North America, and we just kind of found each other. And I think that that's so neat. So I'm about to have a team retreat next month in May, and it is a bunch of girls that are exactly like me, which is so cool. But the way that that happened was because I was authentically me on social media. The last thing you want to do is try and be something that you're not on social media, and then you sign up all these coaches, and then the shoe drops and you're you, and they're like, what? And there's just no connection. I've had that because I would just try and be everything but me on social media, and I wasn't attracting my type of person. So when I say be you, that's where going live comes into play. Like I said, being unfiltered. Snapchat is great for that. And just sharing a little backstage view into your life so that people can see who the authentic you is. And to be real, to lead with being someone's friend and to truly caring about them rather than to sell to them. And to share that knowledge that you have. As geeky as you might think it is, share that knowledge, that the value that you can add to someone. And to be specific, to speak to one specific person. My ideal challenger / coach is a current coach of mine. And she was a challenger that I signed up maybe about a year and a half into my business. And what I started doing after she signed up, she just so got me. She was this girl that laughed at all my jokes and took anything that I gave her as advice and just ran with it. Like, she loved it. And she's now one of my elite coaches. And forever, for the past, 2.5 years, anytime I make a video or I go live on Facebook or I post anything on Instagram, I think of her. I think of Lauren. And when I'm speaking to the camera, when you look at your camera, I'm going to share a tip with you guys. So when you're filming a video like this, and you have it on selfie mode, because this is honestly my biggest pet peeve that I see people do. So you have your video here. You can either look at yourself in the selfie thingy mirror, which connects with nobody, or you can look at the camera hole, which is the black hole, which I get is hard to do. But what I focus on doing is I look deep into that little camera hole and I think of Lauren. And I only speak to Lauren. That way, number one, I'm not stressed out because I'm thinking of all the thousands of people that could potentially see my video, or the hundreds of people. And that way you don't get nervous. But also you have that sense of security that the person on the other side is going to understand you. And that makes you come off more genuine because you're just speaking to that one person. It's like you're having, you can't see anyone, just my, oh, okay. Yeah, no, as long as you guys can see my screen, you guys can see when I move my slides too, right? Cool. So that's what I personally do. I speak to one specific person. That keeps me real. That keeps me confident. And that's what I've done for as long as I can remember. And before it was Lauren, I just created an avatar of my ideal girl. So this is an example of how to be real and how to speak to future challengers. This is not an invite post. This is something that adds value. And although I made a joke about the sweaty selfie thing, this is something that will add up and compound over time, that is calculated and thought through. And when I say calculated, I mean that I know that I'm going to launch a challenge group invite, which I'm going to show you guys how to do. And this comes first. You have to kind of build some sort of context. You know how Shalene talked about that on the wake-up call, how nobody knows what bod. Anybody that's not a coach doesn't know what bod means. Nobody knows what Shakeology means. So you have to kind of paint that picture for them. It's funny that this post is about Asylum and I'm doing Asylum again. Maybe I enjoy. Yeah, you guys can totally screenshot this. And you guys are free to go to my wall and like go look through these things are semi-recent. So this was a post that I had done post selfie, and I'll tell you guys how, because I don't look like that post workout, just so you know. I have this app that I'm obsessed with called Photo Wonder. And it's basically, can you guys see my, oh, you guys can't see my screen, right? Can you? So it has one second. It has like a little wand. That's what it looks like when you open it. And then there's this thing called a filter camera. And whenever you click on that, it will have this, like, there's all these different options, like original, soft, white, cutie. And what it does is it kind of gives you this glow so that you don't look like a hot mess all the time, but you're still kind of realistic, and it just makes you all cute and, glowy. So that's personally what I do. And yes, I will share slides after this for sure, so you guys can just grab the pictures. But that's how I do it. And I just share, I paint the picture of what it is. I share that, I'm someone that would really not enjoy going to the gym, not only because of the time and the money, but because of people watching. And it kills me when I see people at the gym, when I have to be at the gym, like if we're at Summit or on the Success Club trip, and I see people outside of Beachbody at the gym, just, sitting on a bench on their cell phones. And it kills me because I can get my workout done in way less than 45 minutes and be a disaster mess, like in the best way, like sweaty mess, burnt a bazillion calories, and I got the job done, in and out, excuse proof. And that's what I try and share. But I'm being me, and I'm being real, and I'm being super, super specific about what I'm talking about. And it's calculated in the sense that, and I shouldn't use the word calculated, it's marketed. It's thought through. It isn't just a post that I put out there. So I do the same thing for coaching. And this is where so many coaches will do the first one I talked about, but a lot of people won't do this one because for whatever reason, they think that they can't. They think that they haven't had enough accomplishments. And that's where celebrating even what you think is your smallest successes comes into play. Celebrating everything that you accomplish in your business is going to help you move forward and help you realize how well you're doing, but also help everybody else understand. And these can be little things. For me, this was a little bit of a big one. I had set this big goal of traveling. Again, I came back to that travel part because that's authentically me. My big goal this last year was to travel 8+ times. And that particular day, we had booked 3 trips in the span of 24 hours. Yeah. And one was Texas. I took my team to Texas to go see Tony Robbins. And then we went to Summit. And then we had like a friend's trip in Vegas right after. And it was like boom, 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 one after the other. And I think that that's so cool. And sharing these little things that basically were possible. And basically I call it a stop, drop, and selfie gratitude moment, where you just kind of think of all of the ways that your life has changed because of Beachbody. And even if that's you receiving your Emerald poster, or you getting a shout out from your coach on social media, or you helping your first challenger, that's the type of stuff that you need to talk about. And that's how you speak to any potential coach that's watching you. And again, it's the same thing. You're being authentic, you're being real, and you're being super, super specific about what it is. And it's that same type of marketing strategy where it's thought through. It's not just a post that's put out there because after this, I'm going to invite to my team. So I built it up, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Same filter, by the way, or same app that I used to take that picture. So for every time that I post one of these, which is an invite to my challenge group, which I'm going to get into how I created this and why it was so good. Like the engagement on this post was ridiculous, especially for me for Facebook, which is not super high. It was a really, really good launch. But the reason why is because I had created 7 of the other posts. So like, the sweaty selfie of me post-workout, I had created 7 of those for every one of these. And that's something that we don't do enough. We don't add enough value. We don't build enough trust before we drop a bomb and ask for something. Most coaches, what they'll do is actually the opposite. They'll post, please join my challenge group. Please join my challenge group. One value post, challenge group, challenge group, challenge group. And people are just like, do you want to, you just want me to buy stuff from you? Like, I don't get it. And that is something that so many people need to understand. And that's what I've kind of built my business on, is the law of reciprocity, where I give and I give and I give and I give and I give. And I almost feel like I'm giving too much. And then one day I'll ask for something in return, which is an invite to my challenge group. And I've built so much trust by that point that I feel like people feel like, my gosh, she's given all this for free. I can't imagine what her challenge group would be like. So this was I would say, one of my most successful challenge group launches. And it was for a program called P90. And I don't even know if you guys know, if you've been coaches long enough to know what that is, but it was it's Photo Wonder, like with an O. this was a program kind of like P90X, but it was like the on switch to fitness is what I was calling it. And it was for anybody just getting started on their journey. And to be honest, when this launched, I was like, womp, 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 because I'm the girl that does Asylum. But it is also my business to do every single program that launches. So that year, I made it my mission to do this program from start to finish, and I shared it. And I got wicked results. And all I did was I took a selfie post-workout, and then I did I made that picture in PicMonkey, and then I specifically targeted a certain person. And if you read the caption, it says, I'm calling out anybody who has ever considered rekindling or starting their relationship with health and fitness. And I really pulled out and talked to every single person that has ever followed me on social media or any other Fitspo account, like a fitness inspiration style of account, and thought about reaching out for support but didn't. And I talked about how I understood that, that's very specific. That's to one specific person. And I was very authentic. This is not the perfect picture. I shared my results and made it my mission to be my own best testimonial. And I think sometimes as coaches, we think like, well, I don't have any success stories. Dude, be your own success story. Like I gained weight. Like my transformation picture, if you guys ever see it, it's on social media. It's on my Facebook and on my Instagram. The weight is backwards. Like it looks like a backwards. I gained like 10 pounds, but I started sharing that. And it's a scroll stopper because I look slimmer in the one that I gained 10 pounds. And that was just my brand. So that took me a long time to share, but I only shared it because I got over myself. And I just thought, I'm going to stop waiting for a success story to knock on my door, and I'm just going to create my own. So that's what I did. And then my husband was my second one. And then my challenge group started to grow, and I kept going from there. So this is the other thing that coaches struggle with is how do you invite someone to join your team without coming off as a total weirdo? And this is probably my favorite part of the business. Like I love sharing the coaching opportunity. And I think that I do well at it because I do the same method that I do with my challenge group. I don't talk about it all the time. I don't invite to my team all the time because I want it to be seen and acknowledged, because it is, as a hot commodity that I don't want everybody and anybody to join my team. And I honestly don't. I don't need crazy people. I want real go-getters. And I get asked this question a lot. Back in the day, because they don't share it anymore, they share on the week called the Top Success Club Point Earners, which Ashley just freaking kills week after week after week. And I love it. They used to share the top recruiters every single week. And every single week, I would get messages from people saying, how do you recruit? Are they all discount coaches? And I honestly, do you want to know how many discount coaches I have on my team? I think I have one from back in the day. That's it. I don't really recruit discount coaches because if they want to be a challenger, they can be a challenger. But to me, I love working with the willing. Like they inspire me. It's almost selfish. Like I love go-getters. And adding that new fire to my team every single month is something that makes me so happy. And in my mind, why would someone just sign up for my challenge group when they could get the discount on Shakeology and build a business? So I have no problem sharing the opportunity because I believe in it. And that did take me time, but this is how I share it. So for every one post of something that I'm grateful for with coaching and how it's changed my life, I do one of these, like a why not you? And I shared 4 big accomplishments. And that, again, 4 things that I'm grateful for. I shared a picture of my team. That was my first speaking engagement. That Ashley, it's so funny that you were there. That was the first time I ever held a microphone for Beachbody. I was scared out of my socks. And it's funny, Brittany Powers spoke right after me, and she's now in the top 10 as well. Funny how things work out. And that was our trip to Disney, and that was a trip on a boat that I won with Carl, Creating Success Club or something. So I shared that, and I shared all the accomplishments that I had, and I just said, why not you? Like I'm normal. I'm not some sort of mystical unicorn. And I talk about that because as a person that was looking in from the outside before I joined as a coach, I just thought I had to be some sort of magical person that was like really charismatic and could like do public speaking and all stuff. Like Angie 3.5, 4 years ago could have never done a call like this. I would have had a heart attack, and let alone speak on a stage ever. But that's the type of stuff that I share in my posts is like what I was thinking before, what Angie before Beachbody would have thought of looking at that post. And I just want to leave you guys with this little thought. I had my upline coach meet me on Instagram. That's where we met. And she I think she did it through like commenting on one of my pictures. And she just said like, I love your energy. And that's how we met. She was my friend first. She was never trying to sell to me. her biggest goal, and I could sense that, was to just be my friend, to connect with me. And I didn't feel like she was weird. And do you want to know why? Because she didn't disappear after the 4 months that it took me to sign up as a coach. She stayed with me. And that was the person that single-handedly changed my life with one question. She said, Angie, have you ever considered coaching? Because you'd be really good at this coaching thing. And I said, what's a coach? And that was it. Like, that was the seed that was planted. And we always overcomplicate inviting as coaches. And I think that my story is kind of proof that you don't have to overcomplicate it. My coach Ashley changed my life through that one question. And she is my hero. Like, she honestly is. So why would you ever hold back? Someone probably changed your life. If I was able to see all of you guys right now and ask you to raise your hand, like, has your life been changed by Beachbody? Everybody would probably say yes. So why would you ever want to hold back in inviting somebody to do this too? Stop feeling so bad. So be the hero. That's all that I've got for you guys, but we can definitely do a Q&A. And I will get these slides to you as well.
Oh my God. You guys, did you die? Wait, why is it still? Oh, I don't know. My screen is showing you, but also.
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I don't know. It's like, maybe this is what happens with, anyway. Okay, that was awesome. I think it's super good, like, foundational stuff on how, because I do think we overthink, recruiting, but I also think we way overthink social media too. It's like, you just have to show up and stop making social media about you. It really isn't about you. Your social media is for, everyone watching you. So I love that. And you make your presentation so pretty. Okay, so I think there's a few questions in the chat, but yeah, it's recording and I'll post it so you guys will get the link. Okay, so there's some questions about your 1 in 7 method. I guess being real and being specific before posting an invite. So can you just kind of dive into that a little bit more, what you mean by?
For sure. All that I mean basically is that you have to build people's trust up. Like, you can't just post invite after invite after invite. So my personal rule is that I will add value 7 times throughout the week before I post up an invite. Hands down, at least. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. To me, and Jennifer asks, is your 7 posts all about Beachbody? No, I think they're not at all about Beachbody. Like, they're just about,
it would be the opposite.
And the cool thing is like, you guys, I also never mention the name of programs and stuff that I use, because I just, like, yes, we're a Beachbody coach, but I pretend, and probably, I think you do this too, Angie, based on not putting it in your profile. I pretend nobody knows what Beachbody is, that nobody knows what any of the programs are, that nobody knows what All Access, like, nobody knows any of this lingo. And if they do, who can, it's fine. And so I would say you don't talk about Beachbody at all. You talk about all the other, like Carl and Disney and all the other things, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Jen, I think no, the value added posts are not Beachbody. But they might be fitness, but they're just not Beachbody, right? Mm-hmm. Fitness is also a part of all of our lives.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on this, guys?
When you're posting about your family, share, like, oh my gosh, share like how if you have kids and all that, like the meal prep that goes into that. I feel like Melanie Mitro does that beautifully. I think that she was telling me that she was going live tonight. 2 of her kids had a lacrosse practice or something, and she was packing up all their kids when traditionally they would have just gone through like a Chick-fil-A drive-through, and she's sharing how her life has changed that way. Like, that's what I mean by document, not create. Like, document what you're doing. And, sometimes you might be undervaluing yourself, underselling yourself, because you probably are doing stuff that would blow people's minds and you don't even realize it. Like, I was making my Shakeology the other day on Snapchat and someone was like, whoa, like, no clue. And to me, I thought, do you guys want to know? Because apparently it blows people's minds. So I put cafe latte with hot water and coconut oil, and then I blend it, and it kind of makes like a Frappuccino deliciousness, and I put a bit of Flavor God on top of it. Wow. Yeah. So I shared that, and I thought it was totally basic. Yeah. But it changed people's world. And then a bunch of people were like, well, what's the powder? And I was like, well, that's Shakeology.
Yeah.
Opening. So see, I didn't really talk about Beachbody. I just showed what I was doing, and I kind of stirred up interest, and that's honestly.
Yeah. When you spoke at Platinum Edge, I remember you were posting a lot more like food photos back then. You would post like these pictures of amazing smoothies, and everybody that sees them wants to eat them or drink them because they look so delicious. But then, so you're not saying anything about Shakeology. You're just really giving people recipes, and then people's curiosity just starts going like, well, what is this Shakeology? What is that? You know? So
exactly. Then you answer it in the comments.
Yeah. Okay. Tips for figuring out who you are. I feel like I'm starting to narrow down my audience still all over the place.
That happened to me forever. And you know what? If you just like wait and wait to start, because that really was me. Like I could not figure out who I was to my core. It will evolve over time, but you have to start somewhere. So start with those 5. Like write out a list of 20 things if you must. And the 5 things that get you excited that you could go on and on and on about, circle those. Those are your 5 posts about those 5 things for now. And it's going to change. It's going to evolve.
Yes. And one of the things that I thought that Katie, you could do is like, who do you follow on Instagram? Who are you inspired by? Like, are you like, what do you Pinterest? Are you looking at, beauty things, or like, what are you spending your weekends doing? You guys, drinking is legit a part of you guys know that drinking's a part of my brand. Cause I'm like, what do I spend my weekends doing? Like we drink. And who would have thought that like I could be a fitness coach that like drinking is a part of my brand, but that's so average and so basic and not inspiring at all, but it works, right? So it doesn't have to be like, just think about where are you spending your time mentally, and who are you following? What are you doing on social media? And what do you do with your time, and come up with things there. And like Angie said, it can change and evolve. Okay. I guess no more questions, guys. I thought this was so amazing, and I'm so thankful for your time, especially seeing that you had a crazy week and are in high demand. So thank you for making time for us and our teams and sharing some of your gems with us. I took a ton of notes, and it looks like a bunch of other people did too. So thank you so much, Angie. And when are you going to Punta Cana? Are you the first or second wave?
The first wave.
Okay, us too. So
yay! Awesome. You guys rock. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.